G'day guys, Carl from Go Travel. Today I'm doing a video, a bit of an update, 6 months worth of gear video. There's no secret that I love knives, I love torches, basically anything EDC, everyday carry, I'm in it. Now if you follow my Instagram feed, you'll know that I'm always posting stories on pocket knives, torches, just cool gear in general. As you can see, we got plenty of knives, a couple of torches, cool little tools, a few little keyring things. I'm going to try and keep this video short and sweet. I'm not going to talk too much about each knife. I'm just going to show you what they are and why I love them. The first knife that I actually bought this year was a Vero Engineering Neuron. And the reason I bought this knife is I seen a video on Instagram of just it being flicked and I fell in love with it. I went, I've got to have this thing. It's just a fun, flicky knife. And how can you not love that? When I bought the Vero Neuron, that's when I discovered adventure carry. If you're into gear, check them out. They have just some unreal cool stuff and stuff that's not common, which is what I love. And on top of that, the dude that runs it, Mitch, is an absolute legend, top bloke. Next came off the rake, Damn Designs Ghoul. This knife, I just bought it because it was cheap. It was 85 bucks. It's got this cool like hexagon pivot. Big jimmy on the back and just snappy. It is such a snappy beast of a little knife. So this knife is when I discovered that this size is like a perfect 5th pocket size knife and I absolutely love it. Once I got that little Damn Designs, I knew that I needed another one. And I'm not a big knife person, nor am I a Tonto blade person, which is exactly what this knife is. This is a Damn Design Wendigo. And it is a beast of a knife. That is such a solid knife. Admittedly, I bought this for the car. So it lives in the car for when I go camping and bush and that. You always need a knife. From there, I decided I needed a titanium knife for my life. And them Damn Design knives been so good and cheap. They have really cheap knives. This thing, titanium, Banshee. Again, Tonto blade. It was too good not to go past. It is just fun to play with. I've got an obsession with playing with knives at this point in time. I ended up getting to the point where I was cutting something whilst I was out bush and I thought, I need a beater knife. So I ended up buying a QSP Penguin. So got this from Go Commando. Again, if you haven't checked out Go Commando, another shop where you can spend a lot of money and top dudes run it as well. This thing here, cheap knife, 55 bucks, lives in the door of my car. I must say, I don't love it, but for 55 bucks, it doesn't matter what I do with it. And pretty good quality knife for what it is. The Kizer Begleiter, something like that. Just sleek, non-threatening. But the reason I bought this is thumb studs. So this was actually the first thumb stud knife that I bought. And it took me a while to get it, but now, flick it open. Again, just fun to play with. And it is actually quite a decent little blade. And I actually enjoy using this knife. I ended up buying a Kizer Feist. And not because I love the knife, but because they made denim micarta, and I'll be honest, I didn't love the denim micarta at first, but the reason I bought it is it come with this tool roll. It's a denim roll that's got 6 big pockets, got pen pockets, and I just went, I know I don't need this, but I'm going to buy it because I want it. To start with, I wasn't convinced that I would actually really like it. Front flipper knife, it's actually got a rolled spine, and that is something that I actually really liked and really stood out to me. Just a very sleek, elegant knife, but then it's got that little bit of touch of bogan with the denim micarta scales. My absolute favourite knife. This is a Kizer Mini Sheepdog. Now, this knife, again, I looked at the design of it and went, I'm not convinced that I like that design. But the reason I bought it, I wanted a thumb hole opening knife. Now, it is my favourite knife to play with, and I carry it all the time. So this knife here fits perfectly in a 5th pocket of jeans, and I live in jeans, let's face it, so I just fell in love with it. When I bought this knife, it was a black and white micarta scale. This is the first knife that I actually decided that I was going to modify. So when I got it, I decided that I'd dye it blue, and that's when I really became a weird EDC dude, when I started modifying gear, and well, I say, we're well down the rabbit hole. But this thing, if you're considering a Kizer Mini Sheepdog, I can't recommend it enough. This is by far my favourite knife. I just absolutely love it. Then come the October Mini. Now, when I first come across this knife, the only reason I wanted it is because of the pattern on the scales, the frag, like the meat mallet sort of pattern. Little front flipper, tiny little tab on it. Not a massive fan of the opening mechanism of this one. This thing fits perfectly in the fifth pocket, easy to carry, not really that intimidating. This is actually my second most carried knife because I take this one to work with me just for if I need to cut anything. So what I've discovered is this size, this perfect fifth pocket knife, this is the size that I actually like the most, because you'll see that all these knives are thereabouts the same size. Little i1R2 Pro, this actually lives on my keys. Tiny little micro torch, I think it's got like 100 lumens. It's just always good to carry a torch. The reason I love this, USB charging, and the top doesn't actually come off. Now, I've desperately tried to branch out in my torches a little bit from Olight, and I got one of these Rovyvons last year, so I decided to buy a slightly bigger one. So this is the A3 Pro, good for 1000 lumens. Bright torch, throws heaps. This torch, I actually carry in my fifth pocket, take it to work with that other little knife. For me, perfect little combo, fifth pocket, you barely notice it's there. It's always good to have a knife and a torch. I bought a little Lumintop FWAA. I think this one's good for 1400 lumens. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's got 3 LED lights. This doesn't throw light as well as the Rovyvon. Just a cool little design. I like the knurling, like the 2-way pocket clip, like the size of it. When you look size-wise comparable, pretty small little torch. But the reason I bought this is actually to go with my little mini Sheepdog. I've generally always got this in my fifth pocket, and 9 times out of 10, this thing's sitting beside it as well. Knipex, little tiny 100mm pliers. These things have actually replaced the position in my pocket for a Leatherman. Not very expensive, just cool little tool. And they are tiny. They are the tiniest little set of multi-grips I've ever seen. There's just something about small, cool little gear that I love, so I had to get them. Everyone that loves EDC gear seems to have a pry bar of some description. This thing, Vero Engineering Fulcrum Mini pattern, definitely wasn't at the top of my list. It was just that this was available, this was left, so I went, you know what, I'm gonna buy it. It's got a tiny little micro driver bit in the back there, holds 2 micro bits. The Knipex and the Vero pry bar, they live in this little Hitch and Timber leather sleeve that I bought. And this lives in my pocket. This is what I take to work. This is what's replaced my multi-tool. I've always got these 2 tools on me, plus my little knife and my little torch. And I've found that that combination generally works for a lot of stuff. There's not many situations I've found where I've actually missed my big bulky Leatherman. Black titanium, big idea, a bolt action pen. Timascus, I don't know what the hell it is. Got this cool little bolt anyway. This pen, it's adjustable, can actually fit a heap of inks. I just really wanted a nice pen. As much as I do love this black titanium pen, I don't actually carry it. Funny enough, the reason I bought the pen was because I bought this leather slip for the Vero Neuron. If you haven't seen Hitch and Timber leather gear, there's some cool stuff. As much as I thought I would love this, yeah, look, once I put it in my pocket, I decided it wasn't for me. But still cool nonetheless. Big pocket on the back, little spot for a knife, little spot for a torch, and got a pen loop on it. One of the other cool things that I come across is this little Tritium glow fob by Rhino. It's got a little metal glass breaker on it. I did end up putting it on my keys, but then I decided to change how I carry my keys. I ended up getting this little JRW brass paperclip. I think I come across this on Urban Supply Co or something like that, and when I seen it I went, you know what, that's pretty cool, I'm going to buy one of these. And that's when I actually changed how I do my keys. So instead of having a heap of crap on my keys, I've literally just gone to the tiny little Olight and the clip, and it just sits in your pocket, holds your keys in your pocket. For me, it just looks cool and I really like it. It's pretty much the main reason why I bought all the gear I have, is just I seen it, I went, you know what, I think I might like that, let's have a look at it. Another thing that I end up getting is a big Yeti water bottle. Just screw top, a little bit inconvenient, I'll be honest. It's double insulated as well, so just keeps your water and stuff cold. The Yeti gear is ridiculously expensive for what it is. It is really good stuff. One of the other things that I got that I'm yet to try out is I actually got a hammock, a Nike hammock. This is probably not really everyday carry stuff, but I'm keen to set this up and actually try it out because I think it's going to change the way I do things camping wise. Stay tuned for that. I'll probably have more info on this one, I reckon, because I'm pretty confident this is going to be a good thing. One of the other things I have to show you, which we'll get a laugh at, is I ended up buying a backpack. Just a basic backpack. This is more just for living in the car, just for when I go on my adventures and that. got a bag with me, but not really want to talk about the bag. I want you to have a laugh at the patches. So I said I wouldn't become a weird EDC guy, and then I come across this Velcro patch. It's a thing, I guess. It was too good not to buy. It's a COVID drop bear. I don't know if you can see that there, but he's got a COVID mask on, got some toilet paper, and then it's just this crazy Australian dream of the drop bear. I'm only really just putting my foot through the door of this EDC world. I've always loved gear, and it's up my alley. I just love gadgety, fidgety things, and especially practical things. When I first started discovering the EDC world, I went, I'm not going to be a weird torch guy. I'm not going to be a weird knife guy. I'm not going to be a weird EDC guy. Here I am buying things like brass beads and Velcro patches, but you know what? One thing I say is, if it makes you happy, just do it. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Am I a weirdo? Probably. But one thing the internet's taught me is there are plenty of other weirdos out there just like me. And I just love these things, so I can't get enough of it. More importantly, what cool gear have you found? What do you love? What should I be looking at? As always, if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe. And until next time, guys, go travel.